At this time in this nation, we are completing our step into default that we began in 2008. In 2008, for all intents and purposes, we entered default. We entered into bankruptcy. And since that time, we have managed to hold that step back. We were stepping right into it. We initiated that step in 2008, and we managed to hold that step back. We managed to hold it back far enough where the weight had not transferred. But now the weight has transferred, and now that step is coming down, and it will complete. We're not going to be able to stop it. We're not going to be able to stop it because we've made the situation even more complicated than it was in 2008. In 2008, we still had a reasonable balance sheet. We still had reasonable cash flow. We still had an economy that was functioning in a relatively healthy way compared to right now. The difference between right now and 2008 is we weren't as much debt at that time. We were about $10 trillion in debt. Now we're 36 plus trillion dollars as compared to, there was 10 plus trillion at that time. We had smaller welfare programs at that time than we do now. We had smaller government at that time than we do now. Our economy overall was healthier at that time than it is now. And there's one other key difference. At that time, we still had available funds. We don't have those funds anymore because we took all the available funds that we had and we poured them into the economy, and they went everywhere. They went into fraud. There was waste, there was fraud, they went everywhere. From 2008 to 2022, we took a $10 trillion deficit and ran it up. And now we're at 36 plus trillion. It was called the age of easy money, is what it was. Our government did something that it had never done before, unprecedented. And it just poured these funds into the economy, and it made millionaires billionaires, billionaires multi-billionaires. And it created income inequality. Another way to look at this that can help draw the picture is in 2008. Let's say we filed for bankruptcy at that time. We go into the court. We ask the court for some time to get our house in order. And what did we do from 2008 to, it was 2022 was when our Federal Reserve and our government finally decided enough already, no more. We finally woke up. It was extraordinary that it happened that long before our government finally did something about it. And in fact, this administration that's in the White House right now, when they were in the White House previously, our government and Federal Reserve wanted to pull the plug then, but they wouldn't let them. They became very vocal, and it was an abrasive situation, and the Federal Reserve put it off until 2022. The largest difference between 2008 and right now is that we used all those funds up. We don't have any available funds. Our balance sheet is not doesn't look the part. Our cash flow isn't there like it once was. The economy's not growing like it once was. We won't be able to stimulate this economy. And that step has now, the weight has now transferred, and that step is continuing. And the available funds like that were there in 2008 are not there. They were used. The well has run dry. We ran it dry. And so we're in bankruptcy court now, all these years later, and the judge is asking us, well, what have you done since 2008? And now we have to give an answer. What have we done since 2008? We used up all of our available funds. We expanded our welfare programs. We created sizable income inequality. We took those available funds and we used them in a way that was highly wasteful. We bought bad debt with taxpayer dollars. We invested in high-risk investments with taxpayer dollars. In our economy, from 2008 to 2022, looked like it could do no wrong. The whole time, we were weakening it. The whole time, we were setting ourselves up for an undesirable outcome. And this was all done with the help and the assistance and the expert use of gaslighting and covert manipulation. And it was done by the two-party system, the politicians, the media, with assistance from the major influencers who back these two parties, who choose one of the two problems to back. And the whole time this was happening, the Keystone Citizen, the taxpaying working Keystone Citizen, had no control over the situation. They had no real voice in their government. And since 2008 to now, that voice in our government has become weaker, and our democracy has become weaker. At the time, in 2008, 2009, it was really 2010 when that fire hose, when the pressure on that was turned up. I believe it would have been 2010. And I heard it said like this, the fire hose analogy. There was an expert, if you will, that in economics that used that terminology. And it really, that's what we did. We just poured it out where it just went all these places. And it created a mess and it weakened us. But in that time period, there were protests, sizable protests. Some of us may remember those protests. They were sizable, they were significant. And everyone could see with their own eyes what was happening. And they could see that this is not good. There was congressmen and senators in on it. They were speaking out. And some of them are still in office at this time. But they don't speak the same way as they did then. Like they've given in to the collective gaslighting and manipulation, and they've given up on trying to really help the Keystone Citizen. We hurt that citizen with all of those actions. We propped up the corporations. We bailed them out. We propped up the corporations. We gave all kinds of investors opportunity to soak up some of that money that was just flowing, free flowing into the economy. And we made the wealthy wealthier. But the Keystone Citizen, the most valuable resource this nation has, saw very little of that. And most importantly, they are going to they will end up realizing very little stability from that. We weakened our position. We weakened our economy. We created this significant income inequality, and we weakened this group. The most important resource we possess in this nation, we weakened them. Now they are going to have to live with the outcome. And we expanded our welfare rules. We created a bit of a mess. And now we have to deal with it. And it's happening in real time. And we won't be able to stop it. We're in that place where it's a highly volatile place we're in. It's, shall we say, predictable, and shall we say, it's unpredictable. It's predictable in the sense that we don't have any funds left. We don't have the capability to magically stimulate this economy. And we are having significant issues that are starting to point in the direction of we are going to start facing increased challenges. And they are going to be of an economic nature. And some of these challenges will now be fueled by things that we created along the way or that grew along the way. And they will be of a social nature. They will perhaps have a crime component. We have a larger and larger group of citizens that rely on what the Keystone Citizen provides. They are not in that group, but there is a larger and larger groups that rely on that group. And that group, again, has been weakened and is continued to be weakened by our conduct and the gaslighting and the manipulation and an unresponsive government to their needs. Let's say it like this to help put into perspective where we're at. We are in Game 7, bottom of the ninth. It's a home game. How it's a home game, how we have home field advantage is a miracle at this time. It's the bottom of the ninth and we're down by 1 run. We are going into the dugout and coming to bat. There's no timeouts. There's no delay game. It's time. We're coming to bat. We're in a reasonably good part of our batting order, but their pitching is very good. The other team is our problems, is our issues, is what we're facing. They're a good team. They're solid. And they're getting stronger. They're getting stronger as the game goes on. They've gotten stronger throughout the series. We're down by 1 run, but we must score 2 runs. We must walk the game off. If we do not, and we go to extra innings, we do not have the pitching. And we are going into the best part of their batting order. We're in a tight spot. And this is it. This is the final game. This is the bottom of the ninth. And we need 2 runs. And they have good pitching. And we're in an okay part of our batting order. If we wait much longer before we really start to take serious the situation that we're in, we may find ourselves no longer in a home game, still down by 1 run. But now we're in an away game. Now it's the top of the ninth, and we're coming to bat, and we're down by 1 run. And they still have an at-bat coming to them. And our pitching is no good. Because our pitching is our finances. It's our available cash. We used it all up. We used it all. They're in great shape. They have everything going in their favor. That's where we're at. And we could find ourselves in an away game. Top of the ninth, down by 1 run, and they still having a bat coming. If we continue on the course we're on. Now, you do see some hints that this administration is getting, is under the notion that we are in a bit of a financial fix. That seeps out. That can be read. That can be understood. But it's not our administration that we need to be turning to right now. It's our Congress. And this is an important distinction right here. This is a critical concern, because if we get into a highly financially unstable situation, we are already seeing an erosion of our democracy. We are already seeing infighting in our government. We are already seeing dysfunction playing out everywhere. And if all of a sudden, which is very possible, that we see some things happen of an economic nature, and they send shockwaves through our economy, or even ripples through our economy, that can be more opportunity for erosion of our democracy. That can be more opportunity for this administration to consolidate power. And this is not what we want, because the situation will be exacerbated, exponentially worse. And the best thing that we can do as a nation right now, as a people, is get our Congress functioning, is to immediately take measures to increase the function of our Congress and its response to the people, in particular, the working citizen, the Keystone Citizen. Because the issues that we are going to be facing, the concerns that are coming our way, that are right there, that we are stepping into, are going to require a functioning Congress. And this administration is going to get, if without a functioning Congress, this administration is going to get full blame. Full blame. And we are really better off avoiding that. It is in our best interest to actually provide some assistance to this administration, to actually take some of the burden. They should never have it in the first place. It should be in our Congress. But to take the current situation and transfer all decision-making processes to our Congress. And our Congress, and a Congress that is functioning at the will of the people. Then we are in a position to tackle serious issues. Then we are in a position to handle. We're not going to fix. We're not going to eliminate that step. That step is going to be completed. But what we will be able to do is we will be able to help ourselves in a way that we are not able to do right now. Our Congress isn't able to do it, and this administration is not able to do it. This administration does not seem to, they have a sense, I do believe, that there is some economic challenges that we're about to be facing. I don't believe that I don't see it. I don't see that they're honestly facing the circumstances. So we have ourselves a real situation financially. Protesting was done back in 2008, 2009, 10, those years. And it was, if anyone remembers, they were sizable. Protests of that nature are going to be ineffective right now. They're going to be ineffective because our government is ignoring the people. It has been for a while. What will work is a third party that addresses where all of this came from. What caused 2008 in the first place? 2008 was poor government decisions. poor use of taxpayer dollars and labor. The one thing that this group produces that no other group produces. We took the resources of this group and we used them inappropriately, and we created the situation in 2008. They didn't create it. It was created by these elements that are taking from them. Now, here we are all these years later, completing this step, and the elements that are taking from them have more control over them than ever. Now it's time for bold moves. Now it's time to get our Congress functioning, and the only way to do that is to get our Congress responding to the will of the people. Get our Congress functioning to a point where our Congress collectively, that institution, that aspect of our government, will now be making the decisions for the nation. But we need to get that Congress functioning in a way that those decisions are primarily coming from a group that is doing the one thing no other group is doing: paying the collective majority bill and doing 100% of the work. This is our answer: the Keystone Citizen. We need their voice in our government. We do it with a third party. The problem is the two-party system and the gaslighting and the manipulation that is coming from this two-party system. The singular problem is the two parties, fueled by the media, fueled by the major influencers, fueled by the special interests, manipulated and fueled by these entities, now controls our government to a point where we're not functioning as an effective democracy. So to handle the situation, we must address the epicenter, the singular source of the problem, which is the two-party system. And we do that with a third party that is of the people, a very particular kind of third party. Independent Keystone Party. Keep ourselves in that home game. Give ourselves a chance. Don't let us get to that away game. Keep ourselves in the home game scenario and come to bat with a little bit of attitude.